Welcome, and I bid you welcome to another scary story, part two. Yes, after 3 days away from social media, I'm officially back with brand new scary stories for y'all. Some of them might be highly controversial, some might be actually really good. But sit down, crack open a cold one, and listen. It was set in an alternate timeline where, what if Michael Jackson did not die? So after the show in Colombia, I walked up and introduced myself to Mr. Jackson. He said, "Hey, how's it going?" I said, "Hey, Michael, good to see you." So he invited me. So some months after, I walked up. He invited me to his house one day. His family house, not like Slumberland. He's like, "So, tell me about you." Well, so I did. He's like, "Oh, you must be a very interesting man." I said, "Man, love your music, love your music, and don't listen to what the press says." He's like, "Yeah, I know. The media, they're just there to make headlines about me just to get headlines." I said, "I know, right?" Then we struck up a conversation. Then he introduced me to members of his family. I said, "Oh, hey, Tosh, hey, how are you? How are you? Hey, how are you?" So we had to sit down a private conversation. We sat there talking, and then Tosh spoke up and said, "Man, it's just the press just trying to make money off my family, to say the least." I said, "I know, right?" And Michael's a nice guy. Michael and his family are a bunch of nice people. I mean, if your family was done dirty in life and everybody expects, well, you're rich and everything, you can pay that off. No, that's not the case. And by the way, these stories are made up, by the way. This is something made up in my head, so anyway. Tosh asked me, "Hey man, you want to spend the night?" I said, "Sure." So I spent the night over at their place. So then all of a sudden I began hearing strange noises at night. I began to look at Michael's bedroom, and he's just snoozing in his bed with his wife, perfectly fine. I began to hear something crawling on the ceiling. Then all of a sudden I start seeing. Then I went back to sleep. I started seeing images of like Michael with these crazy, like Joker grin face, and I'm like, "Huh? What the hell?" And I asked Michael about that. I said, "Man, didn't I see you up last night?" He said, "No, I was just asleep. Me and my dear wife were sleeping. I don't know, whatever." I said, "I don't know whether there's something fishy going on around here." He's like, "You know what? I'll just stay up tonight." And his family looked at him like he was crazy. So we both slept in separate bedrooms. Michael's bedroom was right next to mine. So we stayed up half the night. Then all of a sudden the noise started coming in. I'm like, "Michael, do you hear that?" He's like, "Yeah, I hear." And I thought, "Very funny, Michael, enough of the racket." He's like, "That's not me." Then if you're here, then what do I keep hearing down the hallway? You want to go check it out? Better safe than sorry. Then we start seeing these crazy Japanese demon eating some people. And all of a sudden I start seeing blood drip from the ceiling. I'm like, Michael, are you sure you don't drink fruit punch? He's like, no. Well, something sprung a leak. All of a sudden we hear this creepy in the background. I'm like, very funny, Michael. He's like, that's not me. They would start seeing these crazy red eyes. Not orange eyes. No, that wouldn't be scary enough. And all of a sudden the thing gets closer and closer and closer. And Michael even saw it. He's like, oh shit. So I pulled my Desert Eagle, the one I always carry with just in case. It had no effect on the creature. No, demons can take any shape or form. Look it up. So we start hiding in our bedrooms. So we let everybody know that there's a demon running loose in our house, and we have to find out a way to kill this thing. What are demons afraid of? Holy weaponry. Good thing I had a cross. Had this little rosary. But how we're gonna have to draw that thing out, that was just the perfect thing. So I hear that thing creeping. The thing keeps crawling and crawling, literally like a spider. I said, come on, you son of a bitch, come on. The thing got closer and closer. Then the demon held my arms down and tried to eat me. I pulled out the rosary and said, eat shit and die. Shoved it down his throat. Because, again, demons hate holy weaponry. Then the demon starts vomiting and vomiting. Then I shoot it in the face. And all is right with the world. And here's another crazy story, but it's kind of messed up. I think the key to a true horror story is that you have to add a dash of film noir in there for good measure. I don't remember Columbia before the war. Saturday night barbecues, Sunday morning church. That was my good life. I was working as a private detective for Spartanburg County. It was a good life. Then later on, Sarah kept in touch with me. She was a good girl, but we had to part ways. I was just in my office minding my own business. Then she walked in. Then I turned around. I said, what do you want, Sierra? She's like, it's my sister. She's gone missing. And I jokingly said, And you're telling me this. Why exactly? Because she's the only sister I've ever got. Said Sarah, after you left me, my heart became a drab. Then I turned around, ignoring her. And she says, you know what, I'll pay you. That should have been the first thing you said. Now tell me, when was the last time you saw your sister? I saw her at a club somewhere. She said. Then I went to go investigate, only to find her passed out on the couch. Then I started touching her face, trying to wake her up. Miranda, come on. Come on, Miranda, get your ass up. Hey, come on, let's go. And she started babbling like, you know, that drunk phase. It's like, I'm like, come on, Miranda, let's get you home. In my mind, I said to myself, Sarah's family better be paying me good for this. Then I start driving down the road, bringing Miranda home. And all of a sudden, I get ambushed. Turns out Miranda had a lot of beef with a lot of people. My vehicle flipped on the side of a dirt road. Luckily, Miranda survived, and I barely survived. With my foot off, I had to go have foot surgery. Then Sarah knowingly came to my hospital bed and said, I'm sorry you had to go through this. I'm like, Sarah, I've been through enough shit. You thought of me as insane. My mother, in this alternate timeline, my mother passed away. Ever since then, my sisters hadn't even seen or heard from me since. Now all hell, thanks they've been issued a get out of free of hell ticket. Then with crime on the horizon, couldn't imagine why. I started doing my own investigation. Started investigating how Miranda got kidnapped by these mobsters. After a brief interrogation of Miranda, while she was still sober enough, Miranda, you're gonna tell me everything I need to know. And why should I tell you, pig? And she spat in my face. I try to be as calm as I can, and I don't harm females. I said, listen here. I said, Broad, listen here. There's a lot of people at stake, and a lot of people are gonna die. And people are out for your head, Miranda. Now tell me, what did you do to get yourself into this situation? Well, she tells me she made a deal with the mob to collect my head. She turned it down. And the mob wanted me dead. I said, well, they want a battle. I'll give them a war. So I start preparing for my oncoming demise. Let's just say my weapon basement is like Charles Bronson's basement, mixed with Arnold Schwarzenegger's and Sylvester Stallone's. Then as the monsters close in on my position, I ready myself. A battle ensues. Then, as the battle ended, I pulled out my custom-made Rambo Commando style machete. Then the boss says, no, I'll pay you everything. I want to hire you, man. I said, I'm not interested in Capolini. So I hacked the bastard to pieces. And at the end I said, you have the right to be dead. And that concludes that story. It was just like any other day. Next story. Just like any other day, I was in this goth club, partying, drinking my own pain away, trying to forget all the sad days that me and Sierra had. Just drink. And ever since my mother passed away, it made my depression worse. I tried going to a therapist once. Did not say a damn thing about it. And then I see this little Elvira looking chick who looking at me weird. So she did this. So I followed her into the bathroom. Then I looked at the stalls and I couldn't find her. All of a sudden she showed up right behind me, but the girl had no reflection. My eyes widened. Then she starts flirting with me. And then she starts kissing me. Then we start getting busy in the stalls, and then I felt a slight pain in my neck. Then the next morning, I remember the woman was gone. Then I remember my wounds healing. Then I go about my days, ever. Nothing happened. Worked a dead-end job that don't pay a dime. Then when night came, I started craving something red. Juicy. Then I started seeing the woman in the mirror. I figured, oh, I must be freaking out about stuff. And I walked home by myself. Then I locked the door, and then I started seeing her. I said, who the hell are you? She starts calling herself Vampira. She's thousands of years old. I was like, what the hell do you want? She starts pointing the finger at me. I said, lady, I'm not your type. But you sure? She's like, but you sure are my spawn after all. I started looking at my neck. As the blood went down my fingers, my eyes widened. I'm like, holy shit. I started looking at my teeth. As I put my fingers against my teeth, I started bleeding. Then I lashed out. What the fuck did you do to me, you ungrateful witch? Did what you always wanted to be, JJ. I made you like me. You are a vampire. See, I've been searching 1,000 years just to find that perfect man. She starts telling me this. Tell me, JJ. All you ever wanted was the perfect woman in your life. Oh, here I am. Oh, your little... And she's like, oh, your little flaw, I took care of her. I'm like, what the hell did you do to Sierra? I took care of her. As she pulls out Sierra's green jacket. It was covered in blood. And I fall to my knees as I'm crying. And she taunts me. She's like, you can't fight it, boy. Just enjoy it. And all of a sudden my eyes turn red and I start licking the blood. Licking it. Embrace your destiny, boy. She said it. Just think about it, boy. One crimson feast after another. They will kneel to us. And I stood up and said, please, don't call me JJ. Call me Vlad. As my dark side took over, then we started feasting out one after another after another. It was just so fucking good. It felt good to butcher cattle and human beings. Then she asked me to marry her. I said, why not? I was forced to marry her. I became forever her bitch. I was beaten, abused so many times I couldn't even count. Then one day, they came. When she had no use for me. I laughed. I said, you know what, Vampy? That's a funny thing. Kidnapping the masses into doing your pathetic little itty-bitty dirty work now. But what you don't know is that God always finds a way. So we fought. And then I did the one thing I swore on my mother's deathbed I would do. Kill a person. An undead creature from hell, it was. Then, there was only one person left. Her henchmen were butchered. There was only one sacrifice to do it. So he pulls out a dagger to end his life. So he committed harakiri. And then I lay there dying, as my body turned to ashes. Doomed to wander the world for eternity. But that concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok and Discord. God bless y'all, and I'll see you next video.